Hello and welcome back to the MLB DFS slate breakdown for Monday, July 28th. I'm here. I'm breaking it down. We got 12 games on the MLB main slate tonight, and we will be diving into all of them. I'm your host, Tyler Wiemann. Come join us at LineStar. We do have a 7-day free trial through the app stores, Android or iOS. Come try us out. Get 7-day free. And see how you like it. Now, let's dig into this glorious slate. As always, we are going to start off by the perfect lineups and winning lineups from yesterday. Then we will jump into today's slate with some pitchers to consider as well as stacks. So, starting on FanDuel, our perfect lineup, we got Paul Skeens. Man put up 55. He went 6 innings, had 9 Ks, 0 earned runs, got the win, got the quality start. He had himself a day. And then from a lineup standpoint, it was all one-offs, and the winning lineup went to Kings of Leon 33, who had Carlos Rodon. They paid down at pitcher, but just didn't really matter there. Then they had a 4-man Washington stack, a 2-man Baltimore with 2 one-offs, one of Tucker and one of O'Neill Cruz. Now, on to DraftKings. We had Skeens and we had Brady Singer. Then it's all one-offs again over here as far as our hitters. Almost used all the salary. 280.4 was the lineup score for the perfect lineup, and the winning lineup went to Zokin. 183.5. Skeens and Rodon were the 2 pitchers. Then they had a A's and Washington stack with a one-off of Baltimore. It was a 3-man Washington, 4-man A's with the one-off. So congrats to our winners. Now let's dial it in and check out today's lineups. So, starting with pitchers to consider and the high-owned pitchers of the day, we got Spencer Strider, 18% owned, projection of 18, consensus is 17, 3-star alert score. He is versus Kansas City. It is, mid-90 temps there and light winds, so decent hitting weather here, and it really just comes down to, are the Royals going to be able to hit Strider, or is that strikeout stuff, that high whiff rate stuff, really going to come and shine today? Strider, 4.22 FIP over his last 20, 4.42 over his last 5. He's definitely been a little shakier than he was in 2023, where he was just totally dominant. I have some interest in him. There is the big time upside. Split wise, the Royals have been decent versus righties. High ISO, okay WOBA, okay average, but low strikeout rate. This really is going to come down to, can Strider get the, 7, 8, 9 Ks? Or is he under that? And then, if he's under that, he also has probably given up 2 or 3 runs. I don't totally love this spot for Strider, but he's too good of a pitcher with too much upside for me totally to write him off. We do have a lot of good pitchers on this slate too. I gotta say that. So next we got Dylan Cease, 9.2K, 15-point projection. Consensus, however, is almost at 18. So the consensus likes him much more than we do. We got him at 18% owned. He's versus the Mets. Mets haven't been very good hitting the ball lately, but versus righties, 242 average, 325 WOBA, 188 ISO. So at least they're hitting the ball hard, but they are striking out a lot, 23.5% over the last 20. Now, as far as Dylan Cease, 3.67 FIP over his last 20, 29% K rate. We know he's a solid pitcher. Over the last 5, though, 5.61 FIP, 30% K rate. So, we got big time upside, but there's also big time downside at these prices. This guy has either been like mid-teens or putting up 30s. And there's really been no in between. In that type of situation, I don't love him being high owned. If he comes in a little lower owned, then I would be much more inclined to use him. Don't love the spot for him. I think it's a tough spot. But at least he's in San Diego, where he does pitch a little bit better. And, the home run potential is a little lower at Petco, with it being a very pitcher-friendly park. All in all, combined K rate's almost 27%. At 9,200, he's absolutely interesting. I'm going to have a little bit, but I'm not going to go overboard unless that ownership projection drops decently. 10.3K, Jacob deGrom, 21-point projection from us and from consensus. He is the highest consensus projection. He is the third highest on LineStar. DeGrom's been absolutely dealing lately, and I'm absolutely fine going here. He is much safer than Cease. He is 1K more expensive, but he's pretty much 20s plus, or, 22 plus. Dude has been dealing lately. 3.72 FIP over his last 5, 3.35 over the last 20. The K rate's up there. Statcast data is a little bit scary, and he's had, 40% fly balls, 7 barreled balls, and 57 batted balls. That's a fairly large barreled percentage. And he's going against a team that can hit some dingers. So 174 ISO over the last 20, 343 WOBA, which is a very high WOBA, high average versus righties. BVP data we're not going to look at, but one thing that I just want to make clear is, look, 1 home run versus the A's, 2 home runs versus Houston. Angels, 1 home run, a couple weeks ago, 1 home run versus Baltimore. He has been letting the home runs fly. Over the last 5 games, he's at least let 1 go every single game. He's facing a team here that is going to hit home runs. So I think the big thing is, just does it happen with people on base or not? And that's pretty much going to make his night. He can go 8 innings with 1 earned run and still, 8 Ks with 1 earned run and still be totally fine at his price. It's if he gives up 2, 3, 4, then you're not going to want to pay that 10.3K. So I think it's really going to come down to that aspect. Are the Angels getting on base? And if they are, you might not want to play DeGrom. But if that ball is missing the bats, there's huge upside in this spot, as we got a 27% combined K rate. So definitely interested in DeGrom. I do like him. I think he's a safer play than both Cease or Strider. Has just as much upside and slightly less owned. Next, we got Christopher Sanchez, 10.5K, 18% owned versus the White Sox. White Sox have been hitting lefties very, very well over the last 20 games. High ISO, high WOBA, high average. But Sanchez has been just straight dealing. 1.64 FIP over his last 5 with a 30% K rate. His strikeout line today is up at like 6.5, something like that. So it is very high. He's in a good matchup. I'm absolutely fine going with some Sanchez. He's totally in the mix, especially on FanDuel. I do have to say this about the FanDuel slate. We have like 5 pitchers or 6 pitchers that are expensive and good. It's likely one of them is going to hit, so I think it might just be a pay-up day on FanDuel. However, if you want to go with a lower-owned guy over there, it's going to be pretty interesting because you're going to have a total different build than everybody else. All right, next we got Framber Valdez, 10.7K, 16% owned. Another guy that's been dealing low 3s FIP over both time spans, 25% K rate over the last 20. Statcast data looks good. BVP data, 45 plate attempts. They're hitting 300 off him, but over the last 20 games, Washington just can't hit lefties. They can't hit lefties over the last 150 either. So I think this is a very interesting spot here, and I don't mind having some Framber where he's going a little low owned. Next, we got Yamamoto, Yoshi versus the Reds. Look, he's one of the best pitchers in the game, and there's nobody on this slate with as many 30-plus point games as him, and he is almost 1K cheaper than most of the guys here we're talking. He's 500 to 1K cheaper, so I'm absolutely interested in Yamamoto. I think his price is a little down than it should. It is in Great American Small Park, which you don't love, but all in all, Yamamoto is too good of a pitcher to not consider, especially if he is not your highest owned guys. Now, let's get into some pivot action. We got to talk about Edward Cabrera at 8K. Guy has been dealing over, the last really 2 months. 3.65 FIP over his last 20 starts with 25% K rate, but over the last 5, 2.91, 25% K rate. StatCast data is unbelievable. Cardinals offense doesn't worry me that much. They don't strike out a ton, but we're only paying 8K here, and I have a lot of interest for him. He has that 30-point ceiling. I think most likely outcome is 18 to 25 or so. But I think there's a slim chance for a ceiling opportunity here, so I don't mind getting some of him. Next, we got Matthew Boyd, 8.7K versus the Brewers. Look, worrisome aspect, he averages 43% less fantasy points while away. Milwaukee's also been good versus lefties, but this dude has been something else. 1.70 FIP over his last 5, 24% K rate. 3.2 FIP over the last 20, 23% K rate. StatCast data is fine. A little too many fly balls, but everything else looks great. It's just, this is a decent spot. Now, Brewers offense is good, but we have a 7.5 game total, and Cubs are slight favorites. I'm going to be getting some Matthew Boyd. I don't love that he's away, but maybe he can get over that. He did it against the Yankees, like a week ago. So I don't mind going back here to some Matthew Boyd. Next, we got Chase Burns, 7.5K. Look, Dodgers have been struggling a little bit at the plate. Over the last 20 versus righties, 204 average, 129 ISO, 271 WOBA, 24% K rate. Now, Chase Burns is an electric prospect. 3.9 FIP so far in his 5 starts and a 35% K rate. He also went 98 and 95 pitches the last couple games, so we know he can get that pitch count up. He's going to have to work for it. The Dodgers will make you pitch, but there is high upside in this spot, and he's only 7,500, so I have to consider him. It's just tough to click prospect versus that Dodgers team. Next, we got Dick Mountain, Rich Hill, only 5K. Look, it looks like he got, crushed his first time out versus the Cubs, but 5 innings and 1 earned run. It was 3 runs total. They were errors. His fielding didn't give him any favors. Now he's facing a Braves team that is nothing like that Cubs lineup, and Braves haven't been able to hit lefties all year. I think it's an interesting spot for Dick Mountain. Braves over the last 20 games striking out at 28%. At 5K, I think there's the path to Dick Mountain getting at least 20. And if he's able to do that at 5K, he's super, super interesting. I don't mind having some, and he's definitely my value play that I like the best in this spot today. Now, getting over to FanDuel, we talked about him a little bit, but let's do it a little more. Sanchez, Valdez, DeGrom, 3 highest owned. With Strider, they should be the highest owned. Chase Burns at 8,100 is absolutely in consideration. It's going to be hard for him to go 6 innings versus the Dodgers, but if he does, that 40, 50 point option is there, and he's only 8,100, so I'm going to have a little bit. Yamamoto at 10.1K, going low owned, absolutely in play. Boyd at 9,900, I have some interest, but I do worry just because he's priced up. He's with the other 10K guys that have a couple more percentage as far as their K rate on their side. So Boyd, to put up similar numbers, is going to have to let up no earned runs, and he's worse away. I don't know if I want to take that chance on FanDuel. Edward Cabrera at 8,600, absolutely interesting. I don't mind getting some. And then Dylan Cease at 9,300. I talked about Dylan Cease on the DraftKings side where I would be playing him if he was low owned. He's low owned here. The ceiling is there. The ceiling is real. So I'm going to have some Dylan Cease probably today on FanDuel. you can get the same upside as those 10K guys, but he's 9.3K. So let's get over to DraftKings. Check out our stack attacks, our highest owned stacks of the day. We got Atlanta versus Rich Hill. I don't love it. I don't mind getting into a little bit, but this Braves team has really struggled versus lefties. Now, Rich Hill is a wily vet, been in the league for a while. He is a spot I like to pick on, but I think this is an okay matchup for him, and I don't love getting to a ton of him. Boston versus Simeon Woods Richardson. I love the spot. I'm going to absolutely get some. Dodgers versus Chase Burns. I don't mind getting a little bit. Not going to go overboard on them, though. Our highest projected, we got the A's versus Castillo. Castillo has been dealing lately, so I got to put that out there first. But he's worse away, and some of these A's hitters have been absolutely crushing righties. Kurtz, Soderstrom, they have a bunch of lefties they can throw at him. I'm a little interested in this A's team, especially with nice hitting weather. Dodgers out there. Phillies versus Davis Martin. Sign me up. 5.78 FIP over his last 5. We've seen them hit a little bit recently too, so maybe they're coming out of the slump they were in. Highest value, White Sox versus Sanchez. White Sox have been hitting, so you can consider them, but I don't like this spot at all for them. Sanchez has been extremely good. Does that mean he can get lit up once? Yeah, probably. I mean, he's been very good, but anything can happen in a one-game sample size. Our highest ceiling plays, we got A's. I love them. Gonna have some for sure. Highest leverage, we got Yankees versus Rasmussen. Rasmussen's been solid. Their bullpen has been solid, so I don't totally love the Yankees. And they're without Judge, which makes the lineup much, much worse, but I'm going to have some. Tampa Bay versus Cam Schlittler is extremely interesting to me, and I'm definitely getting some Tampa Bay, and which is pretty much a home ballpark for them because they are playing out of the Tampa Bay Steinbrenner Field. Now they're just in New York, so it is an away game, but same dynamics as their home ballpark, and we got warm weather in New York tonight. Padres versus Montas. Montas is back. He's been okay. Don't totally love the setup for the Padres. I'm fine getting some. Angels versus DeGrom. I don't love it. DeGrom hasn't got blown up, but he does give up a home run or two, so I don't mind small stacks of the Angels today. All right, implied run total. We got Seattle at 5.4 versus Sears. My expectation is they end up being the highest owned stack of the day. JP Sears, while he's been good lately, is 60% fly balls, and the bullpen behind him is terrible. With good hitting weather in that minor league ballpark, the chance for home runs are high for Seattle. I'm interested. Braves we covered versus Dick Mountain, but they're at 5.3. A's at 5.1 versus Castillo. Dodgers 4.9. Texas 4.9. I absolutely love this Texas spot. Not only have we been picking on Jack Knowitz literally all season long, and that bullpen, but Texas is also hitting very well right now, and they're in a stadium that plays up the home run at Angel Stadium. Phillies 4.6 versus Davis Martin, totally fine. Boston, I absolutely love it. Houston versus Brad Lord. Brad Lord has been very good. Went 50 pitches last time out. He maybe can get a little bit extra on top of that, but behind him is a bad bullpen, and there's absolutely the chance he only goes 3, maybe 4 innings, then you get the bad bullpen next. So I have some interest in Houston. Minnesota versus Dick Fitz. Fine getting a little bit, not going to go overboard. Yankees, it's hard for me to get on board without Judge in this matchup. Royals versus Strider. Strider's giving up home runs too. I wouldn't cancel the Royals out. Padres and Mets, both I think you should probably have some. Cincinnati's, whatever. Tampa Bay, I definitely like. They are probably my favorite down here on this lower implied total list. And that's going to do it for us today, guys. I'll be back in a little bit with the props video. And after that, see you guys tomorrow. Hope you all have a good one. Talk to you later. Peace.